Here's your First Warn Weather Forecast First, sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
Following a few afternoon and evening storm and showers, things have been clearing up over the last several hours, even as far as cloud cover is concerned, as that cold front now pushing all of that activity well off to our east. Back behind that, our temperature has dropped off pretty quickly. We're down to 64 in Rockford, 66 in Monroe, 59 already in Rochelle, 61 meanwhile in DeKalb. We maintain a westerly wind following the passage of that front. We'll drop back down into the low 50s for those overnight lows and rebound only to around 70 degrees tomorrow. That does come with our next chances for some scattered showers and even a few storms once again. I'll time those out for you, let you know how long they'll stick around, coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
Police announced charges to the man in connection with a deadly police officer shooting. The Freeport man, they say, is now facing multiple charges. Plus, coming together to put an end to gun violence. The Rockford event bringing people together to honor and remember the local victims. And shut down the streets, South Main Mercado is back. The annual event highlighting the Latino and Hispanic community in Rockford.
Live from Fox 39, this is Eyewitness News at 9.
Good evening, I'm Rianne Wild. Thanks for joining us tonight. A Freeport man is charged in connection with a deadly police shooting in Chicago. Officer Crystal Rivera was shot by a fellow officer. Police charged 25-year-old Adrian Rucker of Freeport with 4 felonies, including armed violence. Authorities say Rucker had a rifle inside a building on Thursday. A Chicago officer opened fire, then hitting Rivera. Police say Rucker ran off but was eventually caught. Superintendent for the Chicago Police Department, Larry Snelling, is now warning people to refrain from judgment to his officer.
That officer is in a very, very tough place. Unimaginable what that officer has to be feeling right now. Our officers are working hard out there, and there are moments like that where judgment comes in without all of the facts.
A man is dead after Rockford police say he was involved in a single car crash overnight. Police say the crash happened on Wesleyan Avenue near 20th Street around 1 o'clock this morning. Officials say the 45-year-old driver was the sole occupant in the car and sustained life-threatening injuries. Police say he later died from those injuries. This is an ongoing investigation at this time. We have an update on that fatal DeKalb plane crash that happened yesterday. The DeKalb County Coroner's Office identified the pilot as 51-year-old James Byer. Byer was pronounced dead at the scene after a single plane crashed near the Hinckley Airfield. Also on board was a 3-year-old child who was transported to a local hospital and eventually transported to Lurie's Children's Hospital in Chicago, where the victim remains in stable condition. The FAA and the NTSB are continuing to investigate this incident. The National Guard is now on the ground in Los Angeles. President Trump has deployed 2,000 troops to quell protests against ICE raids, which he is calling a form of rebellion. The move comes after demonstrators attempted to block Border Patrol agents from carrying out deportations in Paramount and Compton. Governor Gavin Newsom is blasting the deployment. While the Trump administration claims the protests have been violent, local officials say they've been relatively small and manageable. And about a dozen community groups rallied in Pilsen today to protest ICE raids in Chicago. Demonstrators blasted the Trump administration's growing attacks on immigrant communities. The protest comes days after ICE arrested at least 10 people during routine immigration check-ins at the Intensive Supervision Appearance Program office in the South Loop. Organizers claim CPD officers and officials were at the scene, helping ICE in violation of the Welcoming City Ordinance. Wearing orange in solidarity. That's why people gathered at Rockford's Davis Park this afternoon. The idea was to honor victims and survivors of gun violence in the area. Supporters gathered to work to end the stigma around gun violence and hear from leaders on how society can help prevent it. Organizers say they wear orange to indicate don't shoot. National Gun Violence was on June 3rd, but those in attendance say today it's always an issue that needs to be continuously talked about every day.
My son was killed. It'll be 4 years tomorrow, and I really just became back involved. It took me that long in my private grieving at home, but it wasn't accomplishing anything other than just me being in pain and grieving. So like I said, you got to do something. I got to get out of that and come out and do something. So that's why I'm out here.
Smith says other people can get involved simply by caring and speaking out when they see something. A popular tradition returns to the south side of Rockford. South Main Mercado celebrates the city's rich Hispanic and Latino heritage through a vibrant outdoor market. Eyewitness News reporter Tyler Sorensen was there and has the story.
The South Main Mercado helps people of all backgrounds step into the Latino culture.
I love the phrase respecting the culture. We always say that this event is for Latinos, but it's also for everyone. It's a celebration of Latino culture, but everyone is welcome and invited to come in to see, kind of this food, music, vendors vibe that we shoot for.
This is the third year that the event took place, going from the parking lot of the Ethnic Heritage Museum to now, shutting down South Main Street with over 100 vendors, all helping show the community and culture of Southwest Rockford.
We can't wait to bring in the neighborhood more year after year because this is all about Southwest Rockford. This is all about South Main. This is about an incredible area that's just been named a cultural district, celebrating what has always been, which is that Southwest Rockford is special and incredible.
With both vendors and other volunteers excited about the Mercado coming back, as well as getting the representation it deserves.
I'm just super excited that Rockford and South Main itself is getting representation. I'm just so excited about it.
It means a vitality on the south side of Rockford that I think is super important. It's really nice to see that coming back to this neighborhood. It's so nice to see how many more vendors we have, so it's really exciting.
Exciting and fulfilling for all the volunteers putting on this event.
We are all volunteer. All of us are going to work tomorrow. It's going to be really hard. I'm going to be really tired. But we do this because we believe in a cause and a mission.
A mission of showcasing the diverse Latino culture through the South Main Mercado. Reporting from Winnebago County for your home team, I'm Tyler Sorensen.
A few organizations out in Belvedere are bringing back a love tradition for the second year in a row. The Boone County Art Fair took place today and is back and better than ever. The Historical Society, the Arts Council, and the Belvedere Women's Club all helped reboot the County Art Show. The Women's Club used to host an art show from the 1960s to the 1990s before they stopped running it. Now, last year, the group brought back a version of it, and they ran it again this year. Organizers say it's a great way to help showcase the talent in the area.
We just felt a need for artists to have a space to show their work and for the public to come in. The event back in the day was a really popular thing. It used to be held in Big Thunder Park, and now that we brought it back, I think the community has really embraced it and is really excited to see it come back.
Monahan says the groups hope the event continues to grow in popularity with more vendors and people in attendance in the future. A local organization spent the morning raising funds to help further provide services to families in need. Rockford Family Counseling Services hosted its Brunch on the Deck event this morning at the Rockford Country Club. There was food, music, and a new 815 experience where people got to see and learn about local wellness merchants. Those with the counseling services say the proceeds from today's event go directly towards helping families in the area access mental health resources.
We do things like drama and music and movement and sand tray therapy. So we wanted to kind of highlight different types of mental health care and wellness experiences that people can do, featuring the arts as well as physical activities and just things that can make people feel good about themselves.
Momberger says this is one of two major events the organization has each year. The next one will be in November. Coming up next, Pope Leo is speaking out and promoting world peace. What he has to say about the war between Israel and Gaza when we return.
Our high temperature today made it to 79 degrees, spot on our average for today's date before the cold front swept through. That'll bring our temperatures down for a couple days, but I'll let you know when we'll rebound and see 80s again coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Rianne Weil, Drew Collins, and meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
During Mass this morning, Pope Leo criticized the growing nationalist political movements in the world. He asked the Holy Spirit to break down walls and dispel hatred as he spoke to thousands in St. Peter's Square. He also said there's no room for prejudice separating us from our neighbors. He didn't name any specific country or politician. Soon after becoming Pope, Leo set the importance of peace as a pillar of his philosophy. He's also appealed for ceasefires in Ukraine and Gaza. Meanwhile, Israel says it will prevent a boat carrying Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg from reaching Gaza. The ship set sail from Sicily on June 1st. It's operated by the Freedom Flotilla Coalition, which opposes Israel's blockage of Gaza. Israel imposed that blockade in 2007 to prevent Hamas from smuggling weapons into the enclave. A similar aid effort 15 years ago ended in deadly violence. 9 people carrying aid from Turkey were killed in Israeli commando raid, prompting international outrage. Well, we had another warm and humid day here at the state line with some scattered storms. When we come back, meteorologist Jordan Wolf will preview this week's temperatures. His full forecast is next.
Now, your first warn weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Earlier this afternoon, we had a few spotty showers and storms pass through the area along a cold front. All of those now moving out of the area. One of those storms did briefly have a severe thunderstorm warning on it. That was for portions of DeKalb County before it moved into Kane County. That storm actually produced quite a bit of hail further to the east of DeKalb, along with some damaging winds, and even a couple of reports of power lines down or in and around DeKalb. But now into the evening, much calmer, everything starting to move out of the area. We're even left with a decrease in cloud cover here with our Mercy Health SkyTrack camera in Rochelle. And that decrease in cloud cover, along with that passing front from earlier, has allowed for our temperature to drop back down into the 50s even already in Rochelle, 59 there. Meanwhile, still 64 in Rockford, 63 in Dixon, 65 the current temperature out in Freeport. Our weather watcher Megan out in Pearl City reporting 64 degrees for her current temperature, 56 the dew point, 75% humidity, a wind out of the southwest around 9 to 11 miles per hour. Greg in McChesney Park, meanwhile, has a westerly wind 4 to 7 miles per hour. 66 for his current temperature, 52 the dew point, and both of them have a little bit of measurable precipitation, but underneath 1/10 of an inch from some of those showers and a couple storms that came through earlier. Late into the evening, our temperature continues to drop. We'll eventually make it down to 53 for that overnight low. Underneath that decrease in cloud cover, we'll still have a little bit of a breeze, so it may feel noticeably cooler later tonight than what it may have the last several nights. And that trend continues going into tomorrow. Our afternoon high temperature will only make it back up to the 70-degree mark. That does come with a wind out of the west-northwest, gusting near 30 miles per hour, along with a chance for some scattered showers. And even an isolated rumble of thunder can't be completely ruled out. Starting with tonight, though, with Futurecast, we have that clearing, and that'll allow our temperature to dip to the mid and low 50s for overnight lows. And then our next rain chances start to develop as we head into the afternoon hours tomorrow, really starting into the middle of the morning, but most of those by that time will be in Wisconsin. As this weather system continues to pivot around the area, stray showers on and off can be expected throughout the day, likely in a slightly higher coverage than what we had today, but not going to see as much in the way of stronger storms. If we were to get a strong storm or two, it may be capable of producing some small hail and maybe a gusty wind, but everything should stay sub-severe. Then clearing that following night once again allows for our temperature to drop back down into the 50s. Now, I mentioned the wind for tomorrow as well, initially coming out of the southwest, but flipping around to come more out of the west-northwest toward the second half of the day. And that could come with some breezy winds, pushing 25 or even 30 miles per hour throughout really the majority of those daytime hours. That weather system, though, will continue to quickly move out of the area, taking its place a much warmer air mass, and that comes with a lot more moisture and a lot more humidity, and therefore we'll see a little bit more of an active pattern as we head through the middle and end of next week. The humidity, one factor in that, we're going to see those dew points continue to climb. Dew point values will reach close to that 60-degree mark by the time we hit Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, and that climb in humidity will be associated with that more active pattern as well as far as our storm chances go. An increase in that humidity brings the potential for some of those additional thunderstorms, especially during the daytime hours, Friday, Saturday, and possibly even into Sunday as well. 70 degrees though, still pretty cool and even a little bit breezy for Monday, back up to 76 as we dry out for Tuesday. 84 though, daytime hours on Wednesday are dry, but our next chance for storms start toward the evening and overnight and then continue for the few days to follow.
All right, thanks, Jordan. Well, Drew's next with sports. The Cubs and White Sox had their Sunday struggles. Stick around for the highlights.
Now sports with Drew Collins.
The Cubs suffered their first series loss in nearly a month. The good news is that they lost to the AL Central leaders, the Detroit Tigers. Today was not the day for the Cubbies, but the road trip will continue tomorrow in Philly with another tough series. First things first, let's check out today's highlights. It was rough from the beginning for the Cubs. Torkelson gets a hold of this one and has perfect placement to bring in 2 runs on a double. Blue behind the plate wasn't giving the Cubs any wiggle room, and on top of that, Jack Flaherty struck out 9 batters in 6 innings. He was incredible. The Cubs had a chance to score in the 4th inning. PCA bloops this one, and Ian Happ decides to get past third base and make a dive here at home, but he was out. So the Cubs stay scoreless. And remember when I was talking about the plate umpire? Well, things started to boil over. There's been some tension this entire series, and Nico Horner gets thrown out after complaining about a bad strike call. Here comes Craig Counsell, and well, he gets tossed as well. This was about all that she wrote in this one. It definitely is best that the Cubs live, learn, and move on to Philly tomorrow. The Cubs lose 4-0. The Cubs lose their series, but hey, the White Sox win against Kansas City. Vargas goes yard in the 1st inning. The Sox take a 2-0 lead. The Royals tied up in one swing of the bat. Salvador Perez flies this one way deep. All tied up, one of the league's best players, Bobby Witt Jr., launched his own homer, 2-run homer. Royals now lead 7-5. Tim Elko had a great game yesterday, had a chance to walk this one off today with the bases juiced, and he strikes out for the final out of the game. The White Sox lose 7-5, but win the series. NASCAR's Cup Series was out in Michigan. Denny Hamlin overtakes William Byron with 4 laps to go, and he will hang on to that lead spot to win the Firekeepers Casino 400 at the Michigan International Speedway. This is Hamlin's 3rd win of the year. The Beloit Sky Car posted the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. That couldn't keep their win streak. Beloit lost this one 5-1. Game 2 of the NBA Finals is underway. The Thunder are hosting the Pacers in OKC, and they came in as 10-point favorites. So far, the Thunder are dominating. They currently lead by 20 in the 4th quarter, 102-82. I guess Vegas knew something behind tonight's odds. We'll see if the Pacers can pull off some more magic. That's sports. We'll be right back.
All right, guys, check this out. A festival in the United Kingdom is mixing art with artichokes. So they had this art show, a vegetable sculpture exhibit where artists carve their crops into unique displays. Listen to these names, okay? Cornclave, Potato, Formula One car, Chapeel Roan. I mean, that's good. That's good stuff.
Pretty creative.
Squashes were also Wallace and Gromit, David Lynch, and even President Trump. I mean, this is art. This is talent.
Very good.
Can you guys imagine walking through and seeing a potato dressed up as Chapeel Roan?
I saw the title of this video, and this was not what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not this.
So is this edible?
You know, I didn't ask, but look at the lettuce wrap. Look at the lettuce wrap. I don't know if they eat them. Look at the corn.
It's just, it's good stuff. After that?
Yeah, it's too good to eat, I feel like. That takes too much time.
Preserve it.
What's your favorite veggie?
Carrot.
Okay, I like sweet potatoes. I don't know if we all had favorite veggies.
Anyways.
Well, as we head into the evening tonight, First One Interactive Radar from Rockford Glastonbury keeps us a little bit drier from the afternoon down to the 50s. 70 degrees tomorrow, a few additional showers and thunderstorms, but warmer for the rest of the week.
Thanks, Jordan. And thank you for joining us. Have a great night.